The problem is that they poo in between cars.
No and no.
They've spoilt the whole look of Park Lane.
Every smart illegal immigrant knows that once you're in that tent city, you're going to make your way somewhere else.
I am not going to spend my taxpayer dollar actually putting up single men from Eastern Europe in my country. I don't want them here in the first place.
Get ready for tent cities full of illegal migrants.
However, Park Lane, which is a street not too far away from here, has now been overtaken by migrants.
I wish that they would just go away from there. They've spoilt the whole look of Park Lane.
London's parks have long been a place for relaxation, recreation and a breath of fresh air amid the bustling city. From Hyde Park, Hampstead Heath to local neighbourhood spaces, they offer a much needed refuge for families, joggers and tourists. But today these green spaces are facing a crisis, one that is transforming them from a vibrant public space into disturbing reminders of social decay. Parks across London are increasingly being overrun by homeless people, illegal immigrants, makeshift tents, rubbish and even rising crime. What was once a sanctuary for Londoners now feels unsafe, neglected and tarnished by the city's deeper social issues.
Reports yesterday of a stabbing of an 11-year-old girl.
Uncontrolled and illegal immigration in London has been a growing problem for years, but now it's visibly spilling over into the parks. Tents line the walkways, blending into what used to be pristine landscapes. From Park Lane to Clapham Common, these makeshift shelters have become a common sight. Behind each tent is a human story, often one of desperation and systemic failure. These camps aren't just isolated to a few individuals anymore. Many parks are now hotspots for large groups of displaced people, including illegal immigrants. The surge has overwhelmed local resources, and the effect is being felt directly in the heart of our communities, in our parks. These aren't just isolated areas anymore. Entire sections of parks have been effectively taken over. The absolute state of these parks is a glaring reminder of the city's neglect, but also the values of the individuals dumping their rubbish everywhere. You import the third world, you get the third world. Litter is no longer confined to the bins. Instead, piles of rubbish and old clothes, broken tents, and even used needles are found scattered across what was once lush green grass. This influx of physical and bodily waste possessed serious environmental issues.
I was walking past the other day and there was a woman that was crouching down and going to the toilet behind a bush.
Like, if you think to yourself, where do they go toilet? And the problem is that they poo in between cars. So where I live, they squat between cars and poo because there's nowhere else for them to go toilet.
Local wildlife is being affected, and the biodiversity that once thrived in these areas is in sharp decline. It's not just the sight that's disturbing, but it's the smell and the health hazards that come with it. Visitors have reported finding broken glass, needles and other dangerous items while walking their dogs or bringing their children to play. That's not right. The council does what it can, but it's clear the problem is beyond what occasional clear-ups can fix. Another worrying aspect of the crisis is the rising crime in and around the parks. It's no longer just litter and homelessness that we have to be worrying about. Instead, violent crime is on the rise and committed by people suffering from mental health or ideologies that just don't work well with British culture. Yes, we know we have always had crime. Allowing people to enter the country and not knowing who they are is not helping the matter at all. Many residents now avoid visiting their local parks altogether, citing fears of violence or being caught up in an altercation. Families with children who would normally frequent the parks on the sunny weekends are choosing to stay away. It's tragic to see spaces that were designed to bring communities together becoming areas that people actively avoid due to safety concerns.
Just the tents that are put up, that's supposed to be greenland. That's not supposed to be places where people come to shelter.
What do you think of that interaction? Were they nice people and are they going to be a benefit to our society?
No and no.
London parks have always been an essential part of city life, offering people a place to escape the stresses of urban living. But now, instead of peace and tranquility, residents are greeted with signs of hardship and decay. The mental health benefits that parks offer are being eroded by the current state of these areas. For many, these green spaces were a lifeline during the lockdowns and the pandemic, offering a chance to connect with nature and unwind. Now, the parks themselves are in desperate need of help, mirroring the larger issues that face the city.
How skint do you have to be before you say enough is enough? We're spending around £14 billion a year on illegal immigrants, and that's just on public services, schools, healthcare, etc.
The situation is dire, but it's not hopeless. Addressing the crisis in London's parks requires a multifaceted approach. This is not just about cleaning up litter or moving people on. There are symptoms of a deeper, more systemic issue involving housing, social services, immigration, and crime prevention. Here are some potential solutions that could help restore London's parks.
Additional graffiti resource, and they're busy cleaning up graffiti as we speak on Pelham Street. You will hopefully see the next year your road will be focused, the streets will be cleaner.
300 Channel migrants just yards from where they're forced to sleep rough on the streets.
I'm invisible. I am literally invisible.
Perhaps by looking outside of London, we can look at ideas that are working well in other areas and communities. London's parks are in crisis, and the consequences are severe, not only for the environment, but for the well-being of the people who live here. These green spaces are a vital part of what makes London such a unique and vibrant city. But if nothing is done, they risk being lost to crime, rubbish and neglect. We need immediate action, strong leadership and community support to reclaim our parks. It's not just about cleaning up a mess, it's about restoring the sense of safety, beauty and community that these spaces are meant to provide.
Obviously every situation is different, and Park Lane is actually owned by Transport for London, so who knows what's going to happen there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video guys. Please like, share and subscribe, and check out these other videos, this one here and this one here, and I'll see you on the next one guys.